Hey, get that thing out of the way so we could go cruising. So one of the worst things about living in Ohio is the weather changes so often and just wild. Like it was -12 or something last week, and here we are today, it's 60 degrees. But one of the best things about Ohio is the weather changes so often that in the middle of winter, you could take your top off, have your windows down, and just go for a little nightly cruise.
Yeah, it's like 55 here.
Alright guys, so we just got back here, parked the Jeep in the garage, put the roof back on. So nice to be able to get the chance to cruise around on the first, you know, nice warm day that we have here, that there's no rain. You know, the rain had dissipated throughout the day, and there wasn't anything for a couple of hours. To get out and enjoy the weather after, you know, such a crazy week of snow and ice and negative temperatures, and have it be 60 degrees, able to take my top off the Jeep and cruise around for a little while. And actually, this is the first topless drive of the new year, so 2019's looking up. Alright guys, as promised, in my last video, I received an email while I was filming, and it's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. This goes along with some of the things I talk about a few times, where there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes of this channel and of the Jeep and the build and, you know, my Instagram and all this stuff that I don't really share with you guys, and it's all really coming together now, and I really can't explain to you guys enough how excited I am to share this with you. No more, you know, secrets, no more hiding anything. Everything's gonna be out in the open. I'm gonna share everything with you guys, because I'm really kind of sick of being that YouTuber that's like, oh, you guys are gonna have to stick around for the next video, something really interesting, you know, and keep you guys on edge. I know that's how a lot of people keep their audience interested, but I really don't want to, you know, keep secrets from you guys. I really want to be out in the open on what is going on behind the scenes. And that email had a lot to do with that. Finally, after a couple of weeks with back and forth with this company, I finally got my rendering done for my Jeep, and it looks absolutely badass. And I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, I don't have much time to put this thing together before Jeep Beach and the Daytona Truck Show. So it's gonna be a wild ride. So I won't keep you guys waiting any longer than you have to. Without further ado, the new Mojito Ohio build. So here it is, guys. I hope you like it. Get down there in the comments below. Let me know if there's anything that I missed, anything that you would add, or if you think it's perfect as is. A lot of the times, I think keeping it simple, clean, nice build, you don't have to go over the top. They turn out so amazing. And those are the kind of builds that I kind of gravitate towards at shows, Jeep shows, even SEMA. Were the ones that were more realistic. It's fun to see the ones that are just absolutely out of this world and just totally like ridiculous. But personally, I just think that Jeeps that just have that clean look to them, you know, they look more usable. They just feel like they're achievable for anybody, but they're still pretty tough builds. Starting at the top up there is very low profile. You can barely see it up there in the rendering, but it's an Evo Manufacturing roof rack. Quick and simple. Honestly, I like it because I do not have to drill through my hardtop. It mounts to the side, only takes up the rear half of the Jeep, which still makes the front Freedom panels usable if you just wanted to pop those off and throw them in the back, because other roof racks that take up the entire thing, it's you know, you can't just pop the two Freedom panels off. You can see on the front there, we have our 30-inch light bar across the hood, which is already installed, so knock that one off the list. You guys can see right down there on the cowls where my cubes are. There's just a single cube. I'm still gonna run with my dual cubes. I honestly just think they look better, especially stacked vertically like that. So obviously RBP was my first sponsor, and they were one of the biggest influences on this build. Shout out to Kelly Ash, the VP of RBP. We've met a couple of times. She's absolutely awesome. And we talked about them a little bit before. They are the wheels that I'm going to be going with, the 50R Cobras 20x9. They are going to be custom painted black with a red lip around the inside there. The cool thing about these beadlocks is that they are dual purpose, so they are off-road capable, but they are actually street legal. The patent is pending on those, but they are dual purpose. The tire I haven't fully decided on, so I have had some test driving time on Furies. I like them a lot. They roll like glass on the road. They're very quiet, but they just look badass. Honestly, that tread pattern is just awesome. That being said, I do have a lot of driving time with Toyo MTs, Nitto Ridge Grapplers, and Nitto Trail Grapplers. Honestly, I love all the tires. I really don't have a preference between all of them. I've installed quite a few Nittos, especially the Ridge Grapplers. That's a very, very popular tire around here, and honestly around anywhere. It seems like the go-to tire for anybody that's going to be doing a lot of road driving anyway. But regardless of which brand I go with, I am looking at running 37 1350s, or possibly even stepping up and doing some 40 1550s. As far as armor goes, we are looking at road armor front and rear fender flares. Honestly, I've seen a lot of the JL flares when I was out at SEMA. These ones were probably my favorite single-handedly because of the light on the front. You can see that it matches pretty much what the factory fender flare has as far as a switchback LED. A lot of the other aftermarket brands just kind of threw that light in there as an afterthought. They didn't really give much thought as to that's your parking light, that's your turn signal, and most of them just ended up with like a little tiny like LED that was like an inch, and most of them kind of hit it up underneath the fender flare. Some of them put it right on the front, and honestly it just didn't look finished to me. If you were running just like a trail rig, honestly, it doesn't matter, obviously, because you're just going to be running it on the trail. But since this will be my daily driver still, I will, in fact, still need a turn signal. And yes, Columbus, there is such thing as turning signals. You usually use them when like you're trying to merge into traffic, or like a different lane, or like to indicate where you're going. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I could teach you guys someday if you really want to. Anybody that lives in Columbus knows exactly what I'm talking about. People here hate using their turn signals for some reason. But anyways, the rendering shows them as black. I think there's a miscommunication because he kind of put this green pinstripe on it, which now I'm starting to kind of like. But honestly, I was going to color match at least the top half of them. And I do have to shout out to JL Rubitron on Instagram. This guy has been nothing but help for me when talking about road armor and fender flares and inner fender liners and stuff like this. He's very, very friendly. He gets back to me within a couple minutes, worst case scenario, a couple hours. I even asked him about the lights in the fenders, if they are switchbacks or just running lights. And you know, this was right after SEMA. They didn't have the switchbacks working correctly, but as soon as they did, he sent me a video of it working, and I was just really just sold at that point. Also, I didn't mention that those are switchback LEDs, so they are white running lights, but when you turn your turn signal on, they will flash amber until obviously your turn is done. But I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. So he was my inspiration for these fender flares. I actually was going to color match the top portion of them to be mojito green and leave the side black. He actually did that for his Wrangler, where he did a red wrap on like the flat top and back portion of it, and kind of left the edge there exposed, and I thought that was a really awesome look. No new rock sliders for the build. What you see in between the tires there is actually Rolling Big Power Stealth running boards. So they are automatic running boards that come up and down. As if you open the door, they come down, and if you shut the door, they go back up. Those are brand new. They're still in testing as we speak. I actually have installed one of them on a F-150. Actually, it was for Kelly Ash. It was one of her personal vehicles. and so far I'm just very, very impressed with how well they work. The response time for them coming down, the sturdiness of them, the ease of installation. I honestly couldn't be more impressed. Moving our way to the bumpers, we are looking at front and rear Addictive Desert Designs, front and rear bumpers. The back bumper has a swing arm, but you won't be able to see that in this rendering, obviously, because of the angle that they gave us. On the front, we're looking at the Rock Fighter Stealth front bumper with the stinger. I do actually like bumpers that have the stingers or some kind of like bumper guard on the front. I've seen the factory Mopar ones that have that like tube that go across, and I absolutely love it. Plus, this bumper is a stubby one, so we will have a little bit more space for 37s and if we needed to 40s. Also with this bumper, there's a lot of attachments for lights. There's a perfect spot for a winch right there within the stinger. And then there's a perfect mount for a 20-inch light bar right in the front there. They say it fits a Rigid Industries Radiance light perfectly, so we might have to go with one of those. Now, moving on to the most important part, suspension and the other things that you don't really see underneath the Jeep. What you see there in the front is a Synergy heavy-duty tie rod, complete with a red powder coating. I'm either gonna go red or candy red. I haven't fully decided on that one just yet, which also comes with a Fox Shock steering stabilizer and stabilizer flip kit. That way the steering stabilizer is on top instead of below, and just protects it a little bit better. As well as a Synergy heavy-duty drag link, also powder coated. Synergy Manufacturing is some of the most heavy duty stuff on the market. Everything I've read, they just blow factory parts away. So I'm looking forward to putting those to the test and actually putting those on the Jeep. I think they'll add a lot to the Jeep, and I think that they'll look completely awesome underneath there. And now to the most important part of any Jeep build, the lift kit. And this is where things get a lot complicated. I'm actually doing a fully custom lift. I kind of have to piece it together the way I want it to work, and there's a lot more going into it than I was really expecting. You can't just buy this kit off the shelf. You have to kind of mismatch parts and stuff like that. So I know in the beginning of the video I said I don't want to keep you guys, you know, on edge or anything, but I kind of need everything to fall perfectly in place before I can, you know, really show it off to you guys. And I don't want to get you guys all hyped up for something and then have it not happen. So I think on this one I would rather kind of leave it low key for right now. And if it all works out, then you guys will obviously be the first ones to know, and I'll be making a ton of videos on it. So it's if it all works out, it's going to be really, really special. So guys, that's it. That's my rendering. Those are the main parts that you will be seeing me install. No more hiding anything. We're telling you guys, you know, oh, stay tuned for the next video to see what I'm doing or what I'm unboxing or anything like that. I'm just going to be out there in the open for you guys. The rendering does not have some things that I did tell them to put on there, and that's okay. If those come together, then there'll just be little surprises along the way for you guys. I know this was a long-winded video, but it did need a lot of explaining. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys love the rendering. I can't wait to start buttoning this thing up for the Jeep Beach in Daytona and the Daytona Truck Meet. Both will be awesome, and I can't wait to show you guys this thing in person, and hopefully it all comes together the way I imagine it in my head. So yeah, I just can't wait to get started on it and bring you guys along the journey of, you know, how things like this are built. And it takes a lot of time, which we do not have much of. I think, let's bring it up here, and ooh, yeah, there's only 74 days until Jeep Beach, so we need to get started immediately. I just want to say thank you guys for sticking around for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the rendering. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you in the next one.